Racism, an issue this country has faced
Let's go.
since the beginning. From slavery to Native American.
All right, what's the story? This is gonna be a very interesting video. The top 10 most racist states in America. You guys know I grew up in Ireland, which was it's absolutely beautiful. I love Ireland so much. My family grew up in a little village in Ireland. My family was, I think we're probably like one of the first black people to move in my town. So I understand when something is racist, when something has been ignorant, or when people just need to be educated. And sometimes people just like to be different. Just the way people sound doesn't mean they're racist. That's what I've noticed. Sometimes people think if someone sound differently, they might be sound. It's not racism, but yeah, this is gonna be fun. You guys comment down below. Let me know if something is actually racist or not. If I was to guess about what state is racist, I used to think Texas was racist, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's. But yeah, let's go. Let's check it out.
Genocide to Jim. From slavery to Native American genocide to Jim Crow laws and internment camps, racism has always been a part of U.S. history. And although the nation has enacted many federal and state-level laws to prevent the woes of the past from ever happening again, racism is still a problem today. Now, racism is defined as any prejudice or discrimination against a person based on their race or ethnic group. And while most people can identify that this is morally wrong, many still unintentionally subscribe to racist views. And according to anonymous social media listening data, some people have a lot of racist views. Of course, it's difficult to quantify exactly how racist the state really is, as most racist people aren't going to admit to a poll worker that they're racist. Many do, however, get pretty bold when they can hide behind a screen. So location-based monitoring of tweets and Google searches gives us a pretty good indication. Remember though, while the following states do have many racist people, most people in these states are not racist. But if you want to see more videos concerning race, such as the 10 states with the highest black or white population.
Sorry. Just before we go on, you know one thing that absolutely annoys me? When I see companies hiring black or Asian or Latino people just to prove that, I'm like, hire me because I'm good at my job. Do not hire someone because you want to fit their criteria of having a black person or an Asian. I don't like that. If someone is good enough, hire them. Don't hire them because they're black or they're Asian. Don't do that. Do not do that. I hate that so much. I don't care what your race is. As long as you're good for enough for the job, hire the person. What? I hate that. Oh, so annoying.
Let's hit 5,000 likes. These are the 10 most racist states in America. Number 10. Maryland. On the surface, Maryland doesn't seem very racist. It's one of the least systemically racist states with the 12th lowest income gap by race and is the 11th most racially integrated state in terms of the workplace, schools, and voting booths. So it's surprising that 16.59% of Twitter accounts discussing race in the state used hateful or derogatory language, especially since many researchers believe poor education to be the biggest cause of racism, and Maryland is the 4th most educated state. But considering its racist past, it also makes sense. Interracial marriage was illegal here until 1967. Both Rising Sun and Thurmont, two small towns in northern Maryland, were once home to the headquarters of a KKK chapter. And despite Maryland's nickname being the Free State, it was actually one of the last states to outlaw slavery, not doing so until November of 1864. So while very few people today act on their hateful views, with only 11 hate crimes based on race or religion reported in 2020, that dark history of racism still lingers here, especially in the more rural parts of the state. Number 9. West Virginia. There are countless Reddit posts by people.
Don't say that. You guys know I always talk about West Virginia. I want to go West Virginia so bad. I've watched videos, oh my God, don't tell me. Come on, dog, don't say that. Do not say that. Why? Oh, God.
Of color who are scared to even visit West Virginia due to its reputation as the most racist state. And our data kind of backs it up, as 16.78% of West Virginian tweets about race used hateful rhetoric. But unlike in Maryland, where the racism is mostly subtle, many West Virginians are openly racist. Multiple Reddit users say they commonly hear white people say the N-word, and many others advise POC to keep quiet and stay out of bars, as racist views and drunkenness often lead to dangerous situations situations. One Redditor in
Really? Stay out of bars? That's not me. I go everywhere. But I feel like it's the way you come across people. Because sometimes, yeah, I've been seeing something going across people talking about black fatigue. I'm not sure you guys have seen it. It's literally, there's some people that make the whole black community look bad. Like I feel like every race has the bad part. Every race has the bad group of people that they're not proud of. Like if you know, let's be honest. You know what? I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. Normally, typically, black people are always said to be, smoking weed, like smoking weed, dreads, things like that. Or maybe, someone robbed something. It's always like a black person, things like eating chicken, watermelon. I don't eat chicken. I don't smoke weed. I've never smoked in my life. I've never drank in my life. Nothing against, that's your business if you do it. But I feel like if you know people already assume that you're gonna be like that. So don't play into that stereotype. I don't get that. Some people might think things like the carnival cruise line. I've been hearing people talking about people that go on cruises and they get fights. And people think, carnival is being racist. Because most people that are fighting, it's usually black people. Let's be honest. They're banning hip hop and all that because obviously hip hop sometimes leads to. Doesn't mean they're racist, but like the data shows, although white people are doing it, Asian people are doing it, but the most people that do it are black. There's nothing against. Let's be honest here. Because I see so many people fight. Whenever someone's been said to be racist, see the way everyone goes crazy. The black community goes crazy. But whenever you see a black kid shoot another black kid, it's never something. It's serious, but it's never like there's never an uproar. It's never there's never a protest. Why can't you protest to stop killings of your own people? You only protest when someone else from another race comes into you or call you a name or something. I don't care. You can call me any name. It's the way I take it. As long as you can manage it. I'm the kind of person that the older I get, I've just been able to manage my emotions. I'm not going to let what you say affect me. It's your words. You have the right to say what you want to do. It's the way I reply to you or what I say. I have control over that. If I was walking on the road now, someone call me the N-word, I'll probably look at the person like, I'll laugh and just walk around. I'm like, I've got so much going on. I'm not going to, you think I'm going to ruin my plans? I'm going to ruin what I've got for the future just to get in a fight with you? You think I'm going to risk the plans I've got to buy my mom a house, to buy my dad a house, to make sure my family is good? I'm going to risk all of that because I want to fight you? Bro, come on. But that's why I see things anyway. But yeah, let me know what is West Virginia is a racist, is Maryland is a racist. Let me know. Let's continue.
Particular noted, there is a lot of racism here. I know some of y'all are going to tell me you don't see it, but I know you do. When we have to tell people to wear WVU gear to blend in and to stay away from bars for their safety, that's a big racism problem. Of course, it's also worth noting that most West Virginians are incredibly welcoming, but as 97.4% of the population is white, many people here, particularly in the more rural parts, have never seen someone with a different skin tone in their entire life. And as many West Virginians are wary of people they don't know, this ignorance is likely the cause of their racist views. But hey, at least the Mountain State has the 10th lowest employment gap by race and the 2nd lowest income gap. Although that may also be because there are literally no good paying jobs, so there can't even be a big gap since everyone's poor. Number 8. Arkansas. With signs like these and a former sheriff of Arkansas County. Number 8. Arkansas. With signs like these and
White pride radio for the family. Anti-racist is a code word for anti-white. See, if I see that sign, that's your beliefs. Like, why would I go to a place that say they don't want me? Whenever I see people go to a restaurant, like, oh my God, they're racist towards me, let's say they say, oh yeah, you're not allowed to come in because we don't let people like you in. Why would you try your best to go to a place you're not welcome? I don't understand that. Like, some of you guys know I've said this a lot of times. I love going to a place called Scotland. And if you think of it, black guy in Scotland. When I say Scotland, I'm not just going to the sea. I'm going to the islands. like where most people, they barely see any black person. But it's the way, I feel like one thing I've learned in my life, because I've met so many people across the world, it's the way you treat people. It's about respect. Whenever I see someone, I'm always laughing, I'm smiling. There's no ego. I'm not making them feel uncomfortable. You know, I'm just myself. And people can read that. Because let's be honest, there's stereotypes for a reason. There's stereotypes for a reason. Let's be honest. So whenever they see a black person, they must have read that, you know, black people usually, they're like, you know, they're rough, they're this, they're that. Not every black person, but like, you know, that's just a stereotype. But if I come across and I'm like, oh, how you getting on? You're right. How are you? You having a good day? Like, okay, wow. It's the way you treat people. That's just the way it is. Treat people with respect, you get it back. I've gone to Scotland more than 100 times the last year, and I've never, in my opinion, I don't think I've had any racist encounter. The love I get, the love. Oh, why? It's because I'm just me. I don't put myself, oh, this black guy. I'm just Eddie. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. So if I see this sign now, and I'm going past there, that's just who you are. I can't change you. I'm not gonna try and change you. I'm sorry. Is this actually a real thing? That's crazy though.
And a former sheriff of Arkansas County caught on camera saying racial slurs, including the N-word. It's no surprise Arkansas is on this list. It is a surprise that it's only one of 2 southern states to make the cut, however, as many first-hand accounts claim the South to have the most in-person racism. But that might just be because the majority of the racist population in southern states is older, and many older people don't use Twitter. Overall, 16.83% of tweets discussed.
I'm gonna say something now it might sound crazy to you guys. But one of the most racist people are black. Black people are very racist. I'm going to say right there. Older black people. Oh my God. And that's because it's become so normal. What we found as offensive today, back in the day wasn't offensive. Like there's so many words back in the 60s, 80s, 70s that was normal that today you can't say. It's just, most of the time, it's ignorance. Once you tell them, like I said to you, I grew up in Ireland, and there was a time I had a massive afro, and people were touching my hair, like, you know, they just play my hair. And back then, I didn't see it as them being racist. I was just a guy that was just exotic to them. I never saw as racism, because these kids, I still know some of them. They're the nicest fellas. You know, later on, I started thinking, oh shit, that was weird, but they were just intrigued. And when I tell them stuff, you know, about my culture, my skin, why I don't get sunburned, they're like, oh, once you don't take things personal, sometimes people just don't know. They don't know. And once they ask you a question saying, oh, do you mind if I ask you this question? But yeah, of course, ask me. Because I'd rather you ask me than you know, have this belief in your head for years. And then it's not right. Just be open to other cultures. And that's what's really up to me. I've lived in so many cultures. I've experienced so many cultures, lived in so many countries, that I'm so open to people that I don't find things offensive every time. I hardly find anything offensive. Because I'm always thinking, no one goes out their way most of the time to offend you. Trust me. No one is trying to, most of the time, no one really tries to offend you. And even if they do, once they see the way you react, they change it back. You can call me any name. You can call me anything. I don't care. I'm just not going to talk to you. I'm just going to move on. You're not going to ruin my day. I'm sorry.
Discussing race in our don't use Twitter. Overall, 16.83% of tweets discussing race in Arkansas did so in a hateful way, which shouldn't be a shocker considering the natural state is home to the largest number of hate groups per capita, as well as the modern-day Ku Klux Klan, which is headquartered in Zinc. And speaking of Zinc, it's only a 20-minute drive from Harrison, Arkansas, which many deem to be the most racist town in America. Now, sure, not everyone in the town is racist, and a lot of the younger generation is trying to change its reputation. But many of the older residents are actually proud of their hateful views and have no shame showcasing them to the world.
And you know what? You can't blame them. That's just what they know. You can't blame someone. You can't change someone's minds that they're in the late 80s, late 70s. That's what they've known all their life. That's what they've seen. That's what they've been taught. So who am I? Knowing me, I'll probably go to that town, but I'm not going to try and change your mind. Everyone has the right to their opinion. But even if you call me any N-word, I'm not going to take it personal. Because I'm not going to let a word affect me. It's just a word. Obviously, it depends on the way you're saying it. But the older you get, I don't know what. I think something's sparking my brain over the last few years that not to take everything offensive. Life is so simple. Life is so short. I'm not going to spend time fighting over someone stepping on my shoes, someone calling me a name. Like I said to you, I've got to work hard to make sure my mom stop going to work. My mom, she's in her 50s, in her mid-50s, going to her late 50s. I want her to stop working. So I'm going to work hard as possible as I can to make sure my mom stops working. Because she deserves to reap a soul. Reap a hard soul. She deserves to reap the hard work she's done for years. Moms, dads, they've worked so hard that I think it's my turn to work really hard to make sure that they enjoy, 34 years, God willing, how much they've got. I don't got time to worry. I'm not going to go to jail because someone stepped on my toes, and I'm not going to be there for my mom and dad. What? I see people fight over the stupidest things. What are you doing? Grow up. Don't let your emotions, your ego. Come on.
Number 7, Kansas. Kansas is the first state on our list where the data shows there's a systemic problem with racism. The income gap by race is the 34th worst of any state, and in terms of racial integration, it's 37th. Now, I've been all over Kansas, and I'm honestly surprised it didn't rank even lower. In Wichita, for example, it feels like there's a literal line dividing the Black, Latino, and white neighborhoods. The same goes for the Kansas City suburbs, where, as one Redditor put it, I think the problem is that the older generation have decided that minority influx, or even the perception of their presence, explicitly causes loss of property value and desirability. Another Reddit user from rural Kansas claimed, "You'll definitely hear unkind comments regarding minorities, in particular, quote-unquote, illegals and Muslims." I guess it makes sense that many of the elderly here have racist views, as some of them were alive when Jim Crow laws still existed. And unfortunately, at least some of that racism seems to have been
So these are the kind of people that I rather chat to. That's their beliefs. Do you know how many people that are racist, that actually proper racist, that you talk to every single day? You don't realize they're your co-workers. They're people you meet in the gym, people you play football with, people you play basketball with. This is not racism to me. It's not. Just someone standing by what they believe in. As long as everyone has the right to stand in what they believe in, it's not racism to me. To me, it's not. I think this is just, most of the stuff I've seen so far, it's just being woke. I think it's part of this. I don't want to say people are soft, but it's not. This is not racism to me. It's not. Racism is 200 years ago. That was real racism. What our great, not my great, but people in the black, the Asian minority community, what they went through 200 years ago, where today everyone has the same minimum wage, especially in America. If you're willing to work hard, it doesn't matter what race you are. If you live in Europe, I'm sick of people complaining. Donald Trump, is making, they're blaming Trump. I don't want to live in the country, but I'm only seeing the news. They blame anyone else but themselves. How sad is that? Wow. They ruin their own community, and then they blame the government for not bringing jobs. Why would a company come to your community when all you do is just you ruin it by yourself? The murder rate is so high that why would I bring my company into that? Anyone that's, especially if you're like Black, Latino, Asian, and you like, let's say you live in the, obviously not all black people live in the in the project, obviously not all black people, but like, let's say you're black now, or you live in the project and you make it out, get out of there. Let them call you any name. Call me any name. Yes, I'd rather be safe than be killed by my own people, so-called people. My people is people that love me. Right now, I'm living in Birmingham in the UK. My closest friends are, my closest friend is a guy called Tyler. I love him to bits. Tyler. He lives in Ireland. My next closest around there, a guy called Suki. He's Asian. He's Indian. I love that boy to bits. Not because of, It doesn't have to be black for me to love him. Because he's shown what he means to me. He's been there for me when I need him. It's not about the race or color. Who cares about that? It's about when I need you, are you there for me? I don't care what you look like. Who cares?
Handed down to the younger generations of Twitter users, because 16.95% of all tweets referencing race in Kansas did so in a hateful or derogatory way. Number 6, Wisconsin. Outside of dairy, drinking, and the Packers, most non-Wisconsinites probably don't know much about the state. But now you have something else to add to the list, because in 2020 alone, 74 hate crimes were committed in Wisconsin, which also just so happens to be the worst state in terms of racial integration and 43rd in terms of income gap by race. Even the Milwaukee Bucks president publicly chimed in on the issue, saying, "Very bluntly, Milwaukee is the most segregated, racist place I have ever experienced in my life." Which makes sense considering that many of Milwaukee's suburbs, such as Brookfield, were formed by racist policies like redlining and blockbusting. Even the schools in Milwaukee were segregated until the 70s. One Redditor from Brookfield shared their experience. "Never in my 30 years have I experienced so much racism and prejudice. I share the same socioeconomic status as many folks in this community, and I am highly educated. Nonetheless, it seems as if all black people are quote-unquote thugs to them. I have been subjected to harsh stereotypes at neighborhood."
Crazy to say that all black people are quote-unquote thugs. But how would you describe a thug? Would you describe someone in a suit, dressing smart, boat shoes, a thug, regardless of the race? Not really. But if you see a man having a devil's leaf, devil's tree, you know what I'm talking about, right there. They got their pants down to almost their ankles, not ankles, but like down past their bum. You know, they've got some just dressing, you know, acting, whatever. That's a thug, regardless of your race. That's a thug. So if I see, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I fear my own people. Oh God. Oh God. The fact that I fear my own people. I'm just thinking about some things now. Like where I live, it's safe. It's safe in Birmingham where I live. But when I first moved to Birmingham about 7 years ago, I've been in situations where I was playing football. I remember I was playing football. And you know me, I'm an easygoing person, man. And I remember a fight started. You know, anyone can start a fight. I think it was probably like a rough tackle or something like that. And the next thing this guy said to me was, "I'm going to go to the booth. Give me a second." It was threatening me, he's going to go to the booth. And the moment he said that, I was like, how do we go from arguing about football to you being angry, so angry that you're going to go to the booth? Obviously, when he said that, it means he's going to go get something in the booth. And me being me, I'm not going to stand there. Call me woos. Yes. Call me. Yes, I don't care. I'm still alive today. What did I do? I told the lads, I said, of course, we're from Ireland. They see us as being soft, this soft Irish lads. I said, lads, this guy, I don't care if he's real or not. Let's get out of here. And that day taught me so many lessons. I'm like, how do we go from playing football to that? If I was playing golf or tennis, that would probably, it might happen, but the odds of that happening, if I play football with so many white people, it hardly ever happens. The only time I get into that situation, that happens all the times, it's always because of a black, some black kid does that. Why? You keep talking about stereotypes because you guys keep making it easy for people to stereotype you. And then you go onto this victim. Sorry, I don't know why this video is getting it out of me, because it's so annoying. Stop blaming the system. Walk. Look at me. I can't blame my race. Look at me. What am I going to blame? I've got the opportunity to be, as long as you work hard. You can achieve what you want to achieve, man.
gatherings and been stopped and pulled over many times on my way to or from my house for no reason. In fact, my husband had the cops called on him and was accused of breaking into our own home just for moving furniture. Considering testimonies like that, the fact that 16.98% of tweets referencing race were hateful isn't exactly a shocker.
Alright, fair enough, that's messed up obviously, if I'm moving. But then it's because in the past, things like that have happened. That's why sometimes, like, I've never been arrested by the police. I've never been stopped by the police. I've had police drive by me so many times. I've never been stopped. I've known some people that they get stopped almost every time. Because it's what they do. Police already know, okay, that guy is onto rubbish. And also, if you stop me, it's the way I talk to you. If the police stop me, they're like, oh, what's your name? And I tell them my name, like, oh, where you coming from? And I tell them where I'm coming from. I'm not going to be trying to be smart. I'll just tell you as it is. Because I want to get to where I'm going. You want to get to where you're going. But I don't get, sometimes people feel like they have to be smart on police. They ask them a question, okay, what do you do for a living? Why are you asking me that question? Bro, it's either no comments or there's no need to be smart. It's not going to end well. Because the police already have the stereotype in their head. Now you're making it easy for them. God.
Number 5. Hawaii. The land of rainbows isn't colorblind, but the issue isn't what you might think. While 17.06% of tweets referencing race in the state were deemed derogatory, upon further research, many of the offensive tweets were coming out of a place of ignorance rather than hate, due to the popularity of rap music and simultaneous lack of a heavy black culture in the state. One Redditor explains, you'll hear the N-word a lot on the Big Island. Not by racists, but by people who grew up on rap and don't fully realize the severity of the word.
I don't think that's racist. You just sing it. Then what do you expect? Don't put the N-word in the songs you don't want people to say it. Simple as. Whenever I'm out and I see people trying to catch people out saying the N-word, what do you expect? Don't put the N-word in the song if you don't put to say it. Simple as.
Another user says, the racism you'll inevitably experience won't be hostile, but it'll be very ignorant. I can't stress that Hawaii and the mainland have much different definitions of political correctness. Everyone makes comments about and jokes about race. Now, in terms of institutional racism, Hawaii is actually the least racist state. It has the lowest employment gap by race, the 8th lowest income gap, and was ranked as having the best racial integration of the workplace, schools, and voting booths. Number 4. Mississippi. Wait, what? You're telling me we're actually not the worst at something for once? Finally! Well, yeah, I guess you could say that. But before you get too excited, the percentage of tweets mentioning race in a hateful way is still 18.59%. That's a big jump from Hawaii. And since Mississippi is the only Deep South state on this list, even though most Reddit users agree that it's probably the most racist region in the country, this study obviously isn't perfect, so who knows? Maybe Mississippi is actually the worst. I mean, they have the 8th largest employment gap by race and the 12th largest income gap, even with the lowest incomes in the nation. Heck, last year actually marked the first time in history that Mississippi voters opted to remove a Jim Crow era law from their constitution. The provision, which was designed to prevent black Americans from holding office, made Mississippi the only state that could withhold a person from winning an election, even if they garnered a majority of the vote. And I guess it worked.
Okay, yeah, obviously, yeah, that's racist. I'm not gonna argue about that. If you're telling me that someone can't get, even though they got the votes because of their race or color, because of their race or ethnicity, that is racist. I agree to that.
Worked because a black candidate has never been elected to any statewide office here, despite it being the blackest state in the country.
Oh, shit.
Number 3. Maine. While the laws in workplace in Maine seem to be actively anti-racist, resulting in the 2nd lowest employment gap by race and the 17th lowest income gap, that doesn't mean many people here aren't still racist or ignorant. Over 95% of Maine is white, and much of the population is very rural. So outside of the Portland area, many Mainers have never seen a non-white person. And this ignorance seems to be the basis for most racism here. As one Reddit user describes, thing is, the people up here don't even know know they're being racist. Like when I'm eating something unfamiliar and Asian for lunch at work, I'll get rude comments about eating rice or weird animal parts. My coworkers also walk by saying ching chong ching chong. They think they're being funny, but it's offensive. Many Redditors have also noted there being an unusually large amount of Confederate flags.
But then you tell them, look, I don't like that. And then if they keep doing it, then yeah. But most people just, obviously, I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to say that. That's just wrong, obviously. But some people, it's become so normal to them. They don't even realize that what they're saying is just wrong. It's just ignorance. It's so much ignorance in this world, man, that we just jump on the bandwagon and say it's racist. It's just loads of ignorance. Just tell them, look, that's not on. That's not right. That's not nice. And if they do it again, then yeah, now we can have a conversation. But you have to let them know. Don't just keep quiet.
Despite Maine being about as far away from the Confederacy as you could get, and that tons of white people casually say the N-word and hold racist views against the Somali immigrant population. This translates to the online world as well, as 19.25% of tweets regarding race used hateful or racist language. Number 2. South Dakota. Despite being right next to Wyoming, which is one of the least racist states according to the study, South Dakota definitely deserves its spot on this list. Not only are 20% of tweets referencing race in the state derogatory, South Dakota also has the second worst employment gap by race and the worst income gap. WalletHub actually ranks it as the third most segregated state in terms of the workplace, schools, and voting booths. And things only get worse when you consider that South Dakota is one of the least white Great Plains states, with just 84% of the population identifying as white and a large percentage identifying as indigenous. One Redditor states, "I won't sugarcoat this. I have seen firsthand landlords and employers reject applicants solely from Native American names and appearances. They told me to my face they do it regularly." Many other Reddit users talk of similar experiences, such as this account. "I applied for a law enforcement position and was asked by the interview board if I would pull people over solely for being Native 3 times before I walked out." South Dakota has had a long history of racism towards Native Americans, and it's seemingly still very present today. Now, before we get to number 1, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what you think the most racist state is. But without further ado, number 1. Delaware. What the heck? Delaware? That's so random. I know. I literally thought the exact same thing and quadruple checked to make sure the data was accurate. But it's true. 21.4% of users tweeting about race in Delaware did so in a derogatory way. In contrast, Vermont was far and away the least racist state, with only 6.96% of tweets about race being hateful. So yeah, you can do better, America. And especially you, Delaware. Who even lives in Delaware? Oh wait, my dad does. This may be both the first and last list that Delaware ever appears on, as the state is just too small to really be relevant. No offense, Dad. But for now, Delaware can say it's number 1 at something. Although I probably wouldn't brag about this one. Racism.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one. There's a lot of stuff that I've learned just to not. When you watch stuff like this, it doesn't mean you guys check them out. Check them out. I think it's very interesting because I learned about a few stuff about, especially with the law in Mississippi, where you can't go into office if you're a certain color. That's very interesting to learn. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's because it's just the way I live my life. I think that plays a big part. I don't take things personal. I try not to take things personal. If you say something to me, that's you can say what you want. You have the right to say what you want. It's the way I react to it. So I don't take things personal. I'm sure I probably encounter loads of racist stuff in my life, but I just don't see it as being racist because I don't see life like that. I don't let anyone or anything control me. I don't let anyone have the right to control me. And I feel like that's the way everyone should live their life. Don't feel like someone is gonna just be you. And be vocal if you can. Obviously, not everyone can be vocal. But that was very interesting. Let me know. I'm probably wrong, but that's just my opinion. I'm here to learn. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. I can't wait to go to America now. When I do go there, I'll tell you guys my own. Actually, maybe the fact that I sound like this, maybe they might be nicer to me, to be fair. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.